Okay, balalaika is a stringed instrument. Some of you, I don't know how much exposure you have to the band The Beatles, but there's a song back in the USSR that refers to the balalaika, which is a stringed instrument, um, and prove that the bases of the balalaikas are congruent. You can see that it's a triangle body of this instrument, and so we're going to try and prove congruency here. And they give us certain information, and I'm going to make a little, well, let's make our marks first, and then I'm going to pause it and just make our table for our, oh, actually, we don't need a table here because we've got a paragraph proof, so we'll just fill it in that way. So let's take a look at what we've got. RA is congruent to NY. RA is congruent to NY. We'll put one single mark there. Let me change the color. It might be better if we have a different color here. I'll do black. RA is congruent to NY. What else do we know? We know that KRA, that angle at the top, is congruent to JNY, also that angle at the top. Okay? And then angle KAR, this angle right here, is congruent to JYN, that angle there. Okay, and we're going to need to prove, we're trying to prove that the base side KA is congruent to the base side JY. So, how do we do it? Well, we know that we've already got all of the information that we need, so we're just really filling in what we see over here for A, B, and C. So, let's take a look at what it says. Okay, it's given that two angles at the included side of one triangle are congruent to two angles and the included side of another. So, what is the triangle that is congruent to J and Y? So let's take a look and follow it around. J and Y is going to be KRA. So we're going to say that triangle KRA is congruent to J and Y. Okay, and I'm just filling in what they have above here. So we only need to write that missing piece. Okay. What do we got next? They ask us, how do we know that those two triangles are congruent? And we actually know that the triangles are congruent through angle side angle. So we would say, angle side angle. And then we can then go that last step and say, okay, then therefore that we know that, just one second, sorry, I was typing. We then know that side KA is congruent to side JY because, how do we know that? The same thing that we're doing with this whole section, which is that we're saying any corresponding parts onto congruent triangles will be congruent. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. C, P, C, T, C. Done.